Hi, welcome in. This is Matt, MK. I wanted to do this video to show and talk about the water mixable oil paints that I use because I get a lot of questions about them. So I figured if I do this video, I can just refer you to this video and I'll show you the cleanup, I'll show you the painting process. So I have a canvas up here, it's a 12 by 16, but I split it in half. I'm gonna do like a regular little mountain scene up here, and I might try to do like a seascape and show you everything that I do to make it work for me. I'll show you all the brushes, the paints, the mediums, and I'll talk about them and explain them. So why did I get into water mixable oils? I found that as I was using traditional oils and with the paint thinner and odorless mineral spirits, I started getting headaches using it as I was cleaning my brushes. Even though I had the lid on, I would take it off, clean a brush, put the lid back on, but the fumes still, I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I don't know. And then I found one of my friends on Facebook, Dale Cullen. Go check him out on YouTube. He uses water mixable oils. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna give this a try because he has a YouTube video out explaining them as well. So I started buying the oil, the water mixable paints. So the brand I use is, let me show you. Here's what the tube looks like. And it's Winsor Newton Artisan water mixable oils, and just happens to be the large phthalo blue color, but they have all the colors that you would need for the Bob Ross paintings. They have the same colors and they're pretty much the same consistency, except I found that with the cad yellow, it is really thick. It's almost like a paste, so I have to thin that one down before you can even use it, honestly. But it'll look like this. Water mixables. And they are, they have this little thing here. I think that's the non-toxic. I mean, I wouldn't eat them, but if you get them on your hands, you just clean it off with water. So that's the paint I use. For the medium, so I found that in the water mixable line, and I've looked at other brands everywhere, I cannot find it. I cannot find a white medium. And now what I mean by white medium is like, liquid white, the base coat that you put on to start your painting. Liquid white, whatever, there might be other names for it, but Bob Ross liquid white is usually what they use. So I found that I had to make my own. And to do that, I actually have a Ziploc. It's a little container here. Ziploc container. And what I did was, there it is in there, I mixed my own liquid white up. So what I did, I'm gonna set that down before I drop it, was I took some, I have it here somewhere, yep, right here. So I took some, this is the titanium white. So I took some titanium white paint and squeezed, I don't know, maybe about that much out of the tube. And into this container, squeeze a little bit of the white paint in there. And then I also have, it's Winsor Newton Artisan Line water mixable linseed oil. And yeah, it is water mixable. So you can use this as a medium, you can use this to thin down your paint. It acts like regular linseed oil, but it's the water mixable variety. So I poured a little bit of this into that container, and I just took the end of a brush, like the handle of a brush, maybe, something like this, and I just mixed it up really good. So it's a nice, creamy, like runny consistency, kind of like your traditional liquid white. So that's how I do that. And when I'm doing my classes, I give everybody one of these because I have like 8 or 10 of these that I had to mix. So I go through the process, explain what it is, what it does, what it's for. And so that's how I do my liquid white. And I'm going to show you that it works just like traditional Bob Ross stuff. The only thing, these behave a lot like traditional oils. They take about the same time to dry. And I have some on a pallet over here. I made my pallet out of a canvas, and I put that plastic sheeting on it, and then I just taped it down for the purpose of the video. But honestly, I like using pallet paper for most of the time. But for this one, I was like, I'll make a nice palette for this. So yeah, like we have our traditional colors like we would for Bob's painting. So we have titanium white, phthalo blue, the crimson. This is actually a color I really like using. It's called permanent rose. That's a really nice color. And then we have our yellow ochre. This is our cad yellow. This is that really thick yellow I was talking about there. But it works just the same. And then over here is our sap green. And I mixed a little bit of the sap green and the yellow to get that lighter hue, the light green there. And then I just have lamp black. In the water mixable variety for the oil paints here, the Winsor Newton, they don't have a mountain mix. Basically, all a mountain mix is the phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, and black, I believe. And I think it's brown. But there's like 3 or 4, I think there's 3 colors that they mix, and they just put it in a tube. That way you don't have to mix it. But I'm fine just mixing my own. It doesn't take that long, so I'm not worried about it. But, so yes, like I said, they behave a lot like traditional oils. All they did was add some kind of chemical. They tweaked the chemistry of it to make it water mixable. So how they did that, I don't know, but it works. And it works for me. And now I'm going to go through the brushes I use. So I have Bob Ross brushes, and I use them once in a while with this stuff. But I will say, if you're using natural hair brushes and you clean them with water, they will fray. It's just what water does to natural hairs. Here's a good one. Here's an example. See how frayed out that is? All that floofing going on. That's what happens when you clean brushes with water. Natural hair. These are all natural bristle. Now the brand of brush I use is called, let's see, Wooster. It's a brand called Wooster Yachtsman. And this is the brand that Dale was showing that he uses, and it works. And these brushes, I bought a pack of these. You can buy them by the single for like $6, $7, I think. It's been a while since I bought any. But you can get the 1-inch brushes, and I have a bunch of these. So I bought a pack on Amazon. I think it was like 12 brushes. I cannot remember. It's been a couple years, so I'm sure the prices have gone up since then. But it was cheaper than the traditional your other brands, landscape brushes and stuff. And because of that, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on brushes that I knew that I was going to use maybe a few times and then pitch them. But I've actually gotten to use these, and I actually learned how to reshape them pretty well. So they ain't too bad, but they're a little floofy, but I can usually get them to reshape pretty well. They're not horrible or anything, and once you clean them, and you reshape them, they usually come back to life. And I've been using these for a couple years now, actually. So I thought it passed my expectations. Now this is just the brand that I use. I haven't really tried other brands, and I usually keep a couple of the same brush, like to help with like minimizing how much I'm cleaning during a painting. So I'll have like 1 or 2 for like lights, and then I'll have a couple for darks, you know, when you're putting on your dark colors. That way you don't have to keep cleaning and going back and forth. It helps save time, so that's why I do that. So yeah, I have the 1-inch brush by Wooster. I do have 2-inch brushes over here in my little, actually I have one right here. Yes. So this is a 2-inch brush. You know, it's the same, just 2-inch. And I use this for like blending. They have pretty much all the brushes you'll need. So these are, like, I use this for my background and stuff like that for blending out. This is just a 2-inch brush. And then the 1-inch brush. And then for my fan brush, this is a natural hog hair bristle. So this can get wet and it'll be okay because it's hog hair. It's synthetic hog hair, I think. So it has some synthetic in it, so it's able to get wet with water. This brand here is by Dugato. Not sure if you can see that. Dugato. I bought, there's like I think it's a 6-pack or something like this. They're on Amazon. I think they were like $7 for a pack. Again, it might be more because it's been a while since I bought these brushes, but I have a bunch of these running around too. These are what I use in classes, and they work great. Dugato. So I have a couple fan brushes running around here. Now, another thing I've noticed is that those little chip brushes that you use, those cheapo brushes, they work great for bushes when you're up here doing bushes. So I have a couple of these. This is a little 1/2-inch chip brush. And you can see, so what I did, why it looks so funky there, is what I did was I cut the bristles off at a 45-degree angle. And so what that does is whenever I'm painting and I get paint up here on the top, whenever I'm doing bushes, it makes it easier to do the bush shapes. That way you're loading that top corner, there's no way you can mess that up then. So, and these are cheap. These are, I got a whole pack of these, like, I think there was like 10, 15 brushes for like $5, $6, I forget. But they're on Amazon. You can go to any hardware store, you can get these little chip brushes, and they have them in 1/2-inch all the way up to 3-inch, I believe. This the pack I have. It has like a varying size difference. So I have a couple of these. So normally what I do is I'll save, you know, I'll use one for like my light greens and stuff. Then I'll use one for my yellows, and then or my yellows and all that. And then I have one for like pinks and reds, stuff like that. So I usually use a couple different colors, and it works great for me. You can do you can, once you start getting like used to it and figure out what works for you, it's usually how it goes. That's what I did. I found what works for me. It might not work for you, but this is what I do. Now, I have a container over here of just the linseed oil. This is the linseed oil in a Ziploc container. And the linseed oil does have a little smell to it, but it's not pungent, it's not harsh. It's a noticeable smell to it because of the oil. But it's non-toxic. If you get it on your hands, you can wipe it off with, you know, baby wipes or wet paper towel, and it comes right off. Now, when it gets on your clothes, you can use, so what I use to clean up on final cleanup is just some Dawn dish soap. That's all I use. And they turn out just fine. I've reused these brushes for probably 2 years now. I have more, but I haven't had to get them out because if you take care of them, they tend to work pretty good. So after each painting, I do a deep clean, and I will show you that in the next video. How we do the deep clean is I'll get the Dawn dish soap and I'll run it through this, and I'll run it, I'll squeeze it in there and work it all into the bristles. And then we rinse it, and then I shape it, and I put it on a paper towel, and it's good to go. So, I figured while I'm here and I have a canvas, why not make a painting? So, I have this divided into 2 sections here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a regular daytime mountain scene to show you how they behave. And then I was gonna try. Did I get paint on here? I did. That's okay. We're gonna put blue down here. But so what we're gonna do in down here, I'm gonna put like maybe a nighttime, maybe a seascape, maybe a mountain. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'm just gonna kind of make it up as I go to show you how these work and how they behave. And another thing I have over here is a Bob Ross bucket, cleaner bucket, with a little screen in the bottom, like you know how they have. But all I have in there is just water. That's all it is water. And when I'm teaching classes and stuff, that's all we use. I just tell them, you know, take your brush into the bucket, scrape it against the screen, tap it on the side, and I have a beater bucket right here. It's just a recycling can, and it has a beater rack in there, and you just beat the bristles off in there, and it usually comes out pretty dry. And something else I do is after I do that is I'll take paper towel, take a paper towel off like that, and I usually fold it, and after I do that I get all that excess water out. So I'll just kind of grab it and kind of squeeze any excess water out, and it works good. So I'm going to keep this because I'm going to need it. I'm going to set this off to the side. So, all right, let me get a drink of coffee here, and we will get started. So I'm going to start up here with this top scene here, and I'm going to get my liquid white. What we're going to do, put this over here. I will move this camera closer so you guys can see. Okay, so we're going to get our liquid white that I made. And I'm going to dip into a little bit, maybe just like the top portion of the brush, maybe like a centimeter, something like that. And I'm just going to kind of hit in different spots here. Just touch it in different spots. And I'm just going to do these X motions like this. Set this down. So I'm just going to do this and get that paint on there. All it is white paint and linseed oil, and you're going to do the same motions, those X motions like that, like how you do bob painting. Just do this across, go down. What you're looking for is a nice even coating, so we're gonna go all over. And you might need to get in a little bit more, but that's okay. A little bit, just like that. And we're gonna go in here. Just make sure we have enough. So we're gonna spread that out and around. And I'm not worried about this blue being on here because I'm gonna use mostly blue for my background, so you won't even notice it. So we're gonna, and if you ever get any hairs in your painting, like from brushes shedding, all you have to do is take the corner of the brush and zip it out, like just pop it out, because if you go in there with your fingers, you're gonna get your fingernails all in there and it's gonna mess your painting up. And you don't want to do that, because then you'll be mad. You'll be frustrated and it won't be a good time. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna go across and work my way down. And then go back up, and then I'm going to go left to right, but I'm going to go up and down, working my way left to right, just like this. So I figured I'd do this video and show you guys. It works just like regular bob paints. So what I'm going to do is after that, I'm going to clean this off in a paper towel, get that excess liquid white mixture off of there. We're just going to do a little circle like that. Just like that. And we're good to go. We are ready to roll. So with this same brush, I'm gonna go into some phthalo blue. So I'm gonna drag some phthalo blue out here, like that, and I'm just gonna tap. Tap into our paint there, phthalo blue. Just tapping, and we're gonna get a nice even coating on the top. That's all we need, really. Get a little bit more, just tap real good. Tap real good, get that nice coating. Set my palette down, and we're gonna start in the upper corner over here, and we're just gonna kind of go like this, and work our way across, and kind of work down, and kind of just dance it all over. You don't have to fill the whole thing in because we're gonna put clouds in here. So we're gonna do that, and don't worry how it looks right now because it's gonna be, we're gonna blend this out. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna go right back into that blue, just like that. Tap more of that blue into your brush, just tap, and you get more blue. And then we're gonna come down here to our bottom corners, and we're gonna start on one side, hold the brush like this, and we're gonna go straight across, and just kind of lift off like about in the middle there. Pull, lift up, like that. Come over here, same thing. Just a little bit, and just leave this little area over here open. It's okay to get a little bit, but you want to mainly leave that open, because that's going to be like a sheen of light there. We're going to save that. Now, with that brush, I'm going to clean that off on a paper towel and get some on my thumb in the process. But look at all that paint you're picking up there, though. This is a good way to clean it. I try not to use the water as much as I can, but sometimes you have to, but it works. And this works just fine, getting a paper towel clean. Getting all that excess paint off of there. So what I'm gonna do is take this same brush that we just cleaned, and I'm gonna come up here, and I'm gonna just do these X motions, work from here up. You wanna work from your lightest part up to your darkest part. And this is gonna get really soft, kind of hazy, I guess. But you see all these little variations and stuff going on here. So we want to go up and just kind of straighten it up here, just kind of go across. There, and we have a nice, and we have some areas here where you can see different variations. You want that. That's what you want to have. So I'm gonna clean my brush out again. Clean the brush out. I'm just mainly showing you how this stuff works. It works just like regular Bob paints. And then we're gonna set this off to the side. This is a nice clean brush. We're gonna set it off to the side now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my fan brush and go into a little bit of that titanium white, just pull some of that out, just like that. And I usually just fill up one of the corners there, just load both corners up with some paint, just like that. And then I come up here and I just kind of do little squigglies, you know, just act like you're writing your name in cursive or something, you know. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just come back up here, grab some more paint, and we're gonna go right up in here like that. Just all over, wherever. And so you're gonna pick up some of that blue color. That's okay, because you can just wipe that out on your paper towel, and you're good to go. You get that excess paint out of there, you are good to go. So I'm gonna load up that brush again, get some more of that. Just showing you how this works. I'm just gonna do some little squigglies here. I'm just doing little circular motions, I guess. Just keep the brush moving though. So we got some clouds going on. And I'm gonna clean this off quick. Just a quick clean, because you're gonna be using this later for trees and all kinds of stuff. And now what we're gonna do is take that other brush we just had. We're gonna take the bottom, just go fuzz out the bottoms here, just like this. Fuzz out the bottom, make it nice and soft. Same thing up here, we're gonna fuzz out that bottom there. And then we're gonna just kind of set that back into the background, real soft, very light. And then you got some clouds going on there. So I'm gonna wipe this out. Wipe out that excess. You'd be surprised how clean you can get these brushes with just doing this. But you can do it. You can do it. See? Fairly clean. And it's good for next use. So next we're gonna do happy little mountain here. So, to do a mountain, I'm gonna take the palette knife, you know, little old palette knife. We're gonna mix up some blue, crimson, and some black, I think. We're gonna mix that up real good. Pick the paint up, turn it over, and smush it out like that. Just like that. Just make that nice dark pile there. And this is going to be our base coat for our mountain. So this is basically what mountain mix is. It's pretty much these three colors here. It's like crimson, blue, and black. So usually when you have mountain mix, it usually looks purple. That's why. And we turned it over 4 or 5 times now, so the more times you turn it over, the more well mixed it is. So I'm going to take my knife, cut into a little roll. Get a little roll. And then we are going to go up here. We're going to make, a little mountain. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Just scrape that out. Push that paint into the fabric. See how I'm bending that knife? You want to put a lot of pressure on this part. Come up here, maybe there's another peak. And just kind of push that paint. See how I got my finger there? For this step, you want to put a lot of pressure on. Because you want to push it like you're pushing through the canvas. That's all we're looking for here. We're just going to pull that down and scrape away that excess. See all that? We're just going to push that stuff into the fabric. And we're going to scrape away that, and we're going to bring that down. It doesn't take a lot of paint to do this part, so be very sparingly, because you can, with this, you can just drag this paint out. Very, very nice. So you want to pull that out, you want to scrape it out like we normally do. And we're going to wipe this off on a paper towel. Just wipe it off on a paper towel. Nice clean knife, set that down for later. And what we're going to do, with that same brush we were using, we're going to come up here, up to our corner, and we're just going to drag that paint out. You want to save that nice crisp edge though. That's all you care about at this point. And just kind of fuzz this out. Come up here, save that edge, just drag this paint out. Drag it out. Now normally what I like to do also is I like to clean my brush and get all that excess paint out. So we're trying to get as much paint off of this as possible. So normally what I do is I'll come up here. Oops, I'm messing my mountain up. Hang on. My bad. So we're gonna have another peak up here. We're gonna go like this now. Okay, another little peek. The more peaks you have, the more highlights you're gonna need and shadow. But since I messed it up, I have to fix that, and that's how I fix it. I just add, you know, because you want that nice top edge there. So that was my bad. It happens. Just scrape away all that excess paint. Scrape it out. You can get a good bit of paint off of there by just doing that. Okay, I'm gonna come up here and just kind of fuzz this out. Grab that paint and just pull it. Wipe this off. Paper towel. Just gonna do this motion here, just kind of you're gonna make some mist out of this. See how it's kind of misting out there because it's mixing with that liquid white? It's kind of like what we're looking for there. You just want to do that. And just soften it out. You get a little bit of mist going on there. That's what we're looking for. I'm just showing you how to do this, and I'm getting really into it and carried away though. That was my bad. So then we're going to take our knife. We're going to pull out that white paint, pull it nice and flat, cut off a little roll of paint. We're going to come up here. Very light pressure. I'm gonna make this up here, another little peaky thing going on here. Pull out that paint again. Nice little roll. You feel it grab. Once you feel it grab, you're just gonna drag it. Just drag that paint. Wipe my knife off, pull out some of that, nice little roll, come up here, maybe there's more coming down here. Little paint. Here, just kind of a little bit of mountains there going on. We'll come down here, get some more of that. We're gonna come over here, maybe. Something like that. I'm not gonna get too crazy because I'm just showing you how to do it. So we're gonna pull some more of that paint out there. Take a little bit of our our phthalo blue, into our titanium white. A little bit more. We're gonna mix that up. I'm actually gonna move this down. A little bit more. There we go. Nice. little bit more. There we go. So we cut off a little roll of that. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna kind of a little bit. Come up here, just do the same thing. And then we have some mountains up there. I'm gonna get my paper towel, clean off my knife. Just wipe the knife off, just like that. Set that down. I'm gonna wipe this brush out. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the brush like this and kind of start tapping at the bottom here, just like this. Just like this, just tap, tap, tap. Wipe that out again. And we can take it and just kind of fluff this up, just kind of haze this up a little bit. And come up with this side, do the same thing. And we have some mist going on there. Set that brush down. And then next we are going to, I'm going to make some foothills. So to do that, I'm going to make some, maybe a darker color there. I'm going to make, I'm going to use some of that phthalo blue color here. Put some of that down here. Maybe a little bit of green. Maybe get into that whitish blue there. Let's see how this looks here. You just want a lighter bluish color mixed with a little bit of green. We're going to come up here with our fan brush and I'm just going to make a little foothill. Little foothill. And just punch it in like this. Just do a curve, but you want to save this. Just do this. And then we're gonna fuzz out that bottom. So to do that, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna do this again. Just like that. And we got that mist. We're gonna save that. And then I'm gonna do another little footy hill. Go into some of that blue there. Just pull some of that blue out. Just a little bit of that darker color. There we go. And we're gonna go in here. We're gonna make something like that. And then we're gonna take this brush here. We're gonna go over here, pull down, pull down, pull down that bottom there. Across. We got some reflections. A little water line. Oh, I apologize. Okay, and then we're gonna do some foreground stuff here. So I'm gonna take this brush, same brush, go into that dark mixture we made. Nice little chiseled edge there. We're gonna make some evergreens, but first I'm gonna make some little footy hills that are more close to us, get closer. So we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna just drag the paint through there, or drag the brush through the paint, both sides, make a nice little chisel. We're gonna go and we're gonna use the corner. Boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna reflect some of that into the water down here. And then again, we're gonna make another tree, maybe right here. Load up that brush. Nice dark color. Had to make some more mixture there. We're gonna come up here. Boom, 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 boom. See, these are behaving a lot like the traditional Bob paints and stuff like that. Go through, I'm gonna make another little tree here, maybe a big one, yeah, like right there. We're gonna go up here, do boom, 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 boom. And then we're gonna just make that, fill in that whole area right there. Just like that, and boom, 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 boom. Like that. And then we got some reflections going on. So then next, I'm gonna get a different brush. And I'm gonna use a different fan brush. And I'm gonna dip into a little bit of water. Just a little bit of water. I'm gonna go into this paint here. I'm gonna try to make it as thin as I can. See, you really have to thin this stuff down, so I think this is right. Yeah, and you just want to hit bottoms like that. A little bit more water, and that's all I'm using is water. And this is just thinning this down real nice, just like this. Getting a little more of that yellow. Yep. Just go right into it. Load the fan brush up. We're going to touch like that. Just touching here and there. Mainly the right hand side, because that's where our light source is coming in at. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna put this down for a second. I'm gonna get this little chip brush. Actually, I forgot something. Uh-oh. I have to put some of that down here. There we go. I'm just cleaning my brush out in my water. Set that down. We're gonna take one of our chippy brushes here. There we go. Dip into a little bit of water. Into that yellow. Into that green, into that yellow. Tap into that paint. And we're gonna make some little bushies. Add a little drop of water. Tap that brush. We're tapping. See all them textures and stuff? That's what we're looking for, just tap. And we can go boom, boom, boom. Little bushes and stuff. I'll do another one. Like, I'll set that one down. We're gonna go get another one. Just a little drop of water there. And I'm gonna go into some of this ochre here, yellow ochre. Just tap into that. Just tap, 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 tap. See how I'm tapping? You just wanna get that, see all them textures on there? That's what you're looking for. So then I'm gonna come up here. Get some more bush things going on here. Tap, reload. More bushy things. And gotta repeat down there. And then once we get into that, we can go into this, let's try it. Let's go into that purple, that pink color there. I almost said purple. You can kind of mix it up a little bit, see what happens. Get some of that. We're gonna go boom, 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 boom. There we go. Some little bit of different variations there. And then what we're gonna do is take a clean, dry 1-inch brush. And we're gonna lightly, barely touching, just drag down. And then with that clean side, come across. And we got instant reflections. I'm gonna take a palette knife. I'm gonna mix up some crimson, some green. And we're gonna make this nice brown color, I think, if it works out. This is how you can make a nice brown color. Just get a little bit more, not crimson, sap green. Make up a nice brown color. Okay. Wipe my knife off on a paper towel, get some white, throw in there. And see how marbled that is? I like that, that's nice. Get some of that, we're gonna make some land. There's some dirt and mud and stuff. I'm good with that. Okay. I'm gonna wipe that off. Paper towel. I'm gonna do another little land thing over here. And go back into that dark, that same fan brush we were using earlier. And we're gonna come up up here. We're gonna make another tree. Boom, 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 boom. And right about here is where I want that to land. And we're just gonna block this in. We don't really care how this looks. We just want it to be blocked in at this point. And I'm gonna run through that same color, that same dark. Load the fan brush up. I need more dark. Just kind of, there we go. There we go. Kind of get the idea. And I'm gonna take this other brush that we were using earlier, and I'm gonna drag our brush through that dark color, just like that. And then I'm gonna just sock in some like bushy looking things here, because we're gonna add stuff to that. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna save this for later. For the cleanup process, I'll show you that. Okay. And then I'm gonna get that fan brush, go into some of that yellowish green. I'm actually gonna take a tiny drop of water on the corner of my brush and just kind of drag it through that, and that'll thin it down. Just water. Just water. See how that thin that looks now? You can take a little bit of that green and get in there too. See how thin that is? You want to thin this down, and this is how we're thinning this down, is just with water. Actually a little too thin. I'm running off the palette. I'm not used to holding my palette up like that. Okay, set that down. We're gonna get our fan brush back. We're gonna load into some of that. And we're gonna come up here and just lightly touch. And then you can turn the brush over. There. I'm actually gonna fix this one. It's a little. A little bit more of that yellow and green. And we're gonna touch this one up. There, that's good. Whoa, almost knocked my camera down. Okay, so we're gonna set that off to the side, and I'm gonna make those little bushy things again. Nothing fancy, we're just doing this to show how it's done. Just tap, we're gonna go kaboom, boom, 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 boom. Dip into a little bit of that water. Yep, and I'm just thinning mine down with water here. And that's all I'm doing. And just reload with that brush. Get more paint on there. like that. I'm gonna go into another color here. We're gonna go into, I'll do that yet, ochre color there. Just tapping. We just dipped our brush into a tiny drop of water. And we're gonna come over here. Boom, 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 boom. Like that. We're gonna go into, I'm gonna get that other brush. I'm gonna get a different brush. Dip it into like a drop of water, just a tiny drop. And we're gonna go into some of that pink. Permanent rose. We're gonna tap. Tap, 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 tap. I'm gonna lighten it up. I'm gonna drag some of that white in there. Yeah, we're gonna get some white in there. Maybe make some pinky color there. Let's see. Yeah. Let's do that again up here. That's pretty much it. So we got that one done. So I'm gonna clean up my palette and I'll show you how we do the nighttime scene here. So we're gonna do that. Let me clean my palette up quick. All right, I will be right back. Stay tuned for part 2 for this here. All right, I'll be right back.